The headlines. Bandits kill 6, injure 4 others in fresh southern Kaduna attack. NAF airstrikes hit IPOB terrorist hideouts in Anambra, Imo states. Muslims urged to emulate the exemplary life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as Eid Maulud is celebrated. And from the international scene, French ambassador to Niger leaves as relations fails after coup. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. We start with security. No fewer than 6 people have been killed and 4 others injured after bandits attacked Tankanai community in Zango Kataf local government area of Kaduna State. The police in Kaduna State are yet to confirm the incident, but the president of Atiap Community Development Association, Sam Achi, told newsmen that the attack occurred on Tuesday night, few meters away from a military checkpoint and close to Ungwanjuju, the village of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. He said the bandits invaded the community at about 7 p.m. and immediately opened fire on 2 houses, during which they killed 6 people and injured 4 others. Achi further explained that the bandits operated for over an hour and left before the arrival of troops that were stationed close to the community. The Atiap president, however, called on the government and security agencies to step up efforts in addressing the protracted security challenges in southern Kaduna. The operatives of Department of State Services, the DSS, have intercepted armed trafficking operation preventing the transfer of approximately 1,000 rounds of ammunition from Kaduna to Niger State. The 2 female arms traffickers nabbed by the operatives have been identified as Rashida Umar and Rukayya Laden, both from Akwanga, Nasarawa State. The operation, which could potentially escalate security concerns in the region, began in Fadankarshe, Sanga local government area of Kaduna State, where the ammunition was initially located. Authorities say they suspect that the ammunition was intended for use by bandits operating in the Kwantagora area of Niger State, raising alarm bells about the growing reach of illegal arms trade. Rashida and Rukayya were apprehended during a well-coordinated operation by the DSS operatives. The DSS has launched a comprehensive investigation into the incident to uncover the entire network behind the arms trafficking operation. The coalition of northern groups, the CNG, is calling on the federal and Zamfara state government to collaborate and provide lasting solutions to the security challenges facing the state and the northwest zone. The group appealed to the government to be committed in the fight against insecurity that is unleashing untold hardship and poverty on the people. The report.
Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG, has said it is worried over the abduction of female students of the Federal University Gusau and some construction workers at the Sabangida community and the university premises last Friday. The group condemns the constant kidnapping of innocent people in the state, saying the latest abduction of female students as a strategy to stop parents from enrolling their girls into schools to acquire Western education must not be allowed to continue. CNG calls on the federal government to provide hostel accommodation for the students, especially the females, and step up security in and around the university community to safeguard both students and staff.
Our advice to the school authority is that institution needs a parameters because the institution is exposed to so many things, not only from the level, but even the local chiefs of this country. Without that parameters, our time that was in the university. The secondly, the security situation in the university within the university needs to be strengthened so that at least they will have either a local vigilante, whatever they can call the rural, at least they will safeguard and protect the students of that university.
Our hopes and prayers go out to those affected by this dastardly act of violence. We extend our deepest sympathies to the families who are currently enduring unimaginable pain and uncertainty as their loved ones remain in the hands of their captors.
It's very disheartening. In fact, we are heartbroken at the moment. We are at the stage where we know that there is no safety for us anywhere in the country. Not only in Zamfara state, not only in the northwest, but in the whole of northern Nigeria, there is no safety for any students in this country.
Zamfara state government said the dialogue with the bandits is not the right option to go in tackling banditry, given the fact that previous dialogue with the armed bandits did not yield positive results. The Chief of Staff of the State Governor, Mukhtar Luga, calls on agencies of the federal government to involve the Zamfara State government in its operation to tackle the banditry, not restricted to Zamfara State alone, but the Northwest Zone.
The coordination should actually be between the agencies of the federal government and also the state government. I think we shouldn't look at this like a localized problem. It's not a localized problem. I think whatever effort that is currently being done or been fashioned out should actually carry the state government along. We don't have any issue, but our final stand, like I said earlier, is that we don't think this negotiation is going to yield any result. We have seen it before. It has been done several times. Nothing has come out of it. So the final stand of the state government as it is now is that we are not going to negotiate with anybody, at least not even from a point of weakness.
The Northern Pressure Group noted that the government is not doing enough to address the insecurity, hence the call on the federal and state government to intensify efforts to protect innocent citizens against attacks, abduction, and the killing by suspected armed bandits and restore peace.
The Nigerian Air Force fighter jets under the air component of Operation Udoka 2 on Tuesday destroyed the armories and hideouts of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra combatants in Anambra and Imo states. The fighter jets conducted several airstrikes on the IPOB fighters enclaves in Moda Valley or Sumugu in Nnewi South local government area of Anambra State and at Iku or Aku Ihobe in Okigwe local government area of Imo State. According to a statement on Wednesday by the Air Force spokesperson, Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, the air operations were executed following an intelligence report that the fighters had concluded plans to unleash mayhem on the residents and other states in the region. He said some of the bombed locations were considered to be their armories. Gapquet also noted that airstrikes destroyed IPOB fighters' camps where they were built to hold their meeting in Imo State. Still on security, the police operatives in Rivers State have arrested one of the suspects linked to the killing of Bako Angbashim. Angbashim, a superintendent of police, had led his men to raid criminal hideouts in the Odemude community in Ahuada West local government area of the state on September 8, when a dreaded cult group led by Okpara ambushed them, opened fire and eventually captured Agbashim, decapitated his body and filmed their action. The public relations officer of command, Grace Irenge Koko, confirmed the arrest of one of the suspects in a statement on Wednesday. She said the suspect was about to be lynched by the youths before police operative came to the rescue. As Eid al-Mawlud is marked, now Muslims have been urged to emulate the exemplary life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and not just celebrate his birthday. Some Islamic clerics made this call in Abuja while speaking to on the significance of Mawlud. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal has more.
12th day of Rabiul Awal in the Islamic calendar is recognized as the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, may the peace be upon him, all over the globe. In Abuja, Chief Imam of Nasfat Mosque in Utako, Sharafuddin Aliaga, said it is a day set aside to emulate the virtues of the Prophet, urging Muslim faithfuls to be proactive in their daily activities.
People only remember Prophet Muhammad on his birthday, try to remember his way of life, try to be religious and be godly at that moment, and after that they forget about him. That is not a real celebration of his birthday. That amounts to not really discovering him, not really knowing him, not being a good Muslim, a practicing Muslim. Those category of people who only remember him and follow him on his birthday are nominal Muslims. They are not practical Muslims, because if you want to celebrate Rasulullah, it has to be all true. I mean, throughout your life. If you want to celebrate Rasulullah, you must first be a Muslim. If you are not a Muslim, if you read about him, you must learn one or two things from his biography as the greatest mankind to us. And you have to follow his sunnah day to day, morning and evening, throughout your life. It doesn't have to be only on his birthday.
Also speaking on the importance of the Eid al-Mawlud celebration, Chairman Ansaruddin Society, Abuja branch, Kabir Olayiwola, urged Muslims to love their neighbors, which is one of the qualities of the Prophet.
We are celebrating, marking the birth of our noble Prophet and leader. So it's important. It's a reflection on his life. How did he live? Was it that it was not tough during the life of Prophet of Muhammad? It was tough. How did Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam live this life? He was tolerant. He was persevering the situation. Gone are those days when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be hungry, but he wouldn't want all the people to feel the hunger. He would shout. They would put stone in his stomach to be able to show as if he is belly full. And he managed, he persevered, and he encouraged us to persevere.
Other Muslim faithfuls that came from other states to mark the day said it is an important day because it guides them to amend their ways in accordance with Islamic injunctions. We came from Sokoto State because of the importance of the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him. We are happy to see this year's celebration, and we are praying for the betterment of the country. It is indeed a memorable day for all the Muslim faithfuls all around the globe, and we are urging all Muslims to be one to make Nigeria a better place.
We are privileged to see this day, and it will teach us how to forgive and also learn the virtues of the prophets.
This is Old Paragraph in Abuja, where Muslims are converging from different states to commemorate the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace be upon him. And they have been advised to be brother's keeper, irrespective of tribes or religion, to make this country a better place. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Christian Association of Nigeria, the CAN, has congratulated the Sultan of Sokoto, Sa'ad Abubakar III, and all Muslims across Nigeria on the occasion of Eid al-Mawlud. The president of CAN, the Archbishop Daniel Oko, in a message to the Muslim faithful on behalf of CAN and the Christian community at large, called for promotion of mutual respect, understanding and peaceful coexistence among all religions. While acknowledging Nigeria's diverse society comprising individuals from various ethnic, cultural and religious backgrounds, Bishop Oko noted that it is within this rich diversity that the nation's strength resides. He called for persistence in promoting mutual respect, understanding and peaceful coexistence among all religious communities. The National Union of Road Transport Workers has urged the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress to desist from meddling in its internal conflicts. Acting General Secretary of the Union, Kayode Agbeyangi, made the assertion during the National Executive Council, the NEC meeting on Wednesday in Abuja. He alleged that the recent outbreak of violence at the National Secretariat of the Union was due to the interference of the NLC for selfish reasons. According to him, the NLC has gone overboard in expressing its interest in its internal affairs. He said the union expects the NLC to respect the determination of the NURTW to ensure the emergence of the democratically elected national leadership for NURTW at the forthcoming quadrennial delegates conference. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, Creativity meets ingenuity in Maiduguri, and we will tell the story of a young fabricator's remarkable exploits. These and more after the break. Stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Bandits kill 6 injured and injured 4 others in fresh southern Kaduna attack. And NAF airstrikes hit IPOB terrorist hideouts in Anambra, Imo State. Moving on to more stories, mixed reactions have trailed the reintroduction of the Pack and Pay policy by the Federal Capital Territory Administration. The policy was first introduced in 2012 on selected streets in Abuja. However, on August 6, 2023, the FCTA and a group of concessionaries of on-street parking signed an agreement to restore the Park and Pay scheme in Abuja. In this report, Noel Sampson gets reactions of FCT residents on the operation of the policy. The report.
According to some of these FCT residents, the Park and Pay policy presently in operation is not going to stand the test of time, as the modalities that will guarantee the success of the operation have not been put in place.
From psychological view, you discover that people come in. Some don't want to go inside because of the ease of movement. So most times you have this environment. I think they are trying to take advantage of it. That is why they are introducing Park and Pay. It's just tentative issue. I don't think it's going to last. Even with the arrangement, it's not possible because it's not organized. It's not organized. The place is not organized. People can just come in and sneak out and all that. I don't think it's sustainable. But they will try to do things, you know, at the initial period, people will comply, but over time, just like water, people will always find their way.
Building plazas for people to rent, you have to make provision for car parks. So, which is very, very, very important. But the federal government coming up with a policy that if you are coming to the market, this is a GSM village, for crying out loud. You have to pay when parking your car coming to the GSM village. And there are no spaces for us to park our cars. If you come to, like which day I came to do something here, I have to drive round like 3 times before I managed to get a small space to park my car. And at the end of the day, when you park and you are going, they ask you to pay money. I'm very, very sure that it will not last.
The Director of Traffic Management, FCT, Wadata Aliyu, who believes the policy will succeed, sheds light on the reasons behind its reintroduction in the FCT.
The plan reintroduction is not actually 100% revenue based. We are looking at the safety of road users who are going to be the greatest beneficiary in this scheme, either directly or indirectly.
The Park and Pay policy is meant to create orderliness in the FCT. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The surge in transport fares occasioned by the removal of subsidy has continued to push Nigerians to resort to less expensive means of moving from point A to point B. The motorized bicycles are becoming popular again in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, where creativity meets ingenuity, enabling Nigerians to make ends meet. Trust TV's Beatrice Kurutsi met with a young fabricator who is making this happen. Take a look.
The transportation sector over the past months is among the worst hit as a result of the withdrawal of fuel subsidy that saw hikes in fares across the country. It forced several residents to walk long distance while others relied on bicycle for movement within the town. The cost of moving from place to place inspired Umar Yusuf to fabricate a motorized bicycle powered by fuel that can cover 18 kilometers and above. He used a GX200 generator and other machine parts to construct the bicycle.
Actually, due to the problem of the subsidy by the federal government, I now think of what will bring or what will ease the transportation system. So I now advance my knowledge of creativity into construction of motorized bikes. The engine I'm using in the production of the bicycle is normal GX200 generator, which most people know use it for vulcanizers or grinding machines. So that is what I'm using for constructing these motorized bikes. Yes, it uses fuel, and the fuel consumption is at least you can run 18 kilometers per liter, and you can run 60 kilometers per hour with the one I'm constructing now.
Omar plans to construct an electric bicycle, but his small factory sits on a temporary site and harbors the fear that he may be served a quick notice at any time. Omar Yusuf challenges also include capital and tools to accomplish more innovative creations.
Where I'm working now is just a temporary government street, and the government can come anytime and say she wants her land, maybe you want to build something. And for now, my best challenges is empowerment. I just need empowerment so that I can employ more youth to learn the work and also increase the level of my production.
He hopes to fabricate more machinery that will make life easier for people, a dream that keeps busy at his workshop almost all the time. Beatrice Kurutsi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
The federal government has urged all ministries, departments and agencies across national and subnational levels to ensure access to information in an effort to promote transparency and accountability in order to eliminate corruption in government. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, gave the charge at the presentation of the 2023 Transparency and Integrity Index report. The report.
Building trust among citizens of a country towards its government through public institutions creates an environment for reassurance and recommitment to achieving the objectives of public service. This was the position of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, represented by the Permanent Secretary, General Services Office, Maurice Namdi.
When this information is in the public domain, it promotes accountability by allowing the public to scrutinize government actions, decisions, and spending. This, in turn, discourages corruption and mismanagement, and as well as foster trust and build confidence between government and the citizens.
He admitted that bottlenecks such as administrative burden of compliance, cybersecurity issues, apathy by citizens, poor record keeping, non-maintenance of websites, low literacy levels, among others, hamper efforts to institutionalize the principles of transparency and accountability through the Freedom of Information Act.
Government is putting measures in place to address such challenges, including the domestication of freedom of information to subnationals, amend laws conflicting with penal code, criminal code, and public complaints commission.
With our partnership with the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, we have seen some improvements in terms of public institutions' willingness to disclose information. In the first edition we launched, the highest rank organization was 33.4, and of course last year it was 57.8 thereabout. This year, the highest rank organization is 79 thereabout, and so we have seen improvement in terms of the willingness, of MDAs to disclose information in the public domain.
The 2023 Transparency and Integrity Index Methodology Handbook was developed by the Bureau of Public Service Reforms in partnership with the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch to assess federal, state ministries, departments, and agencies of government with a detailed guide to the variables and scoring criteria used in the assessment of public institutions' compliance to fiscal transparency and accountability, laws, and other commitment. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
From the international scene, the France's ambassador to Niger on Wednesday morning left the country about a month after the military government ordered his expulsion and days after President Emmanuel Macron said the diplomats would be pulled out and French troops withdrawn. The relations between Niger and France, its former colonial ruler, which maintained a military presence in the country to help fight Islamist insurgents, have broken down since army officers seized power in Niamey in July. The junta had ordered French Ambassador Sylvain Ité to leave the country within 48 hours at the end of August in response to what they described as actions by France that were contrary to the interests of Niger. France at first ignored the order, sticking to its stance that the military government was illegitimate and calling for the reinstatement of elected President Mohamed Bazoum, who was toppled in the July coup. But Macron announced on Sunday that the ambassador would return to Paris and French troops would leave. And finally, in sports, Victor Osimhen's agent has threatened legal action against Napoli after a video was published on the club's official social media mocking the Nigerian striker for missing a penalty in the weekend's goalless draw at Bologna. The TikTok post, which was subsequently deleted, showed Osimhen failing to score his spot kick in the Serie A match with a high-pitched voice saying, "Give me penalty, please," sparking a furious reaction from Roberto Calenda. Osimhen has struggled in the opening weeks of this season for misfiring Italian champions Napoli, but has still netted 3 times in 6 appearances. The 24-year-old has become an icon in Naples after scoring 31 times in all competitions last season as Napoli won their first league title since 1990. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. You can join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.